Well, good afternoon, softball fans, and welcome back to Championship Saturday here at the ISC World Tournament. Blair Scepter, Joe Todd on the ISC Network. Joe, we've had some rain overnight and some sprinkles again this morning. We have moved this first loser's bracket semifinal game to an alternate diamond to allow the main diamond to dry out further. We're bringing you the single camera coverage with commentary. We appreciate your patience. We expect to be back onto the main diamond as long as we don't get further weather happening here in Moline. And Joe, it has been a difficult day trying to do all the planning. There's a lot going on. There's Legends games going on. We want to get this ISC semifinal going. And now we got a bit of a dispute here with Greg Leather and the Gremlins, who are upset about something.
Yes, I'm not sure what was causing all that, but we're not privy to that information. The grounds crew have done a great job this morning. That has got the diamond all ready. We're about an hour late, but we'll be on the field and playing in about 2 minutes.
If I'm reading minds, Joe, I think I know what the question is, and it is about the umpire assignments. There's an existing rule in the ISC rule book that talks about not having the home plate umpire from the same region as teams on the field. The assignment for this game was for an Ontario umpire, and I think Greg is hot about that.
Yes, that is probably a good answer to the situation out on the field.
Well, and that is the delay right now because I do only see two umpires here on the field. There's a discussion with one of them with the Gremlins coaches. There's another discussion going on with the Bear Creek coaches. But those are the two base umpires. I don't see a home plate umpire here. Sean Cleary out on the board. He's just hidden behind that post from your view. He'll be in view once he gets onto the board, but he continues to warm up with Ryan Boland. Joe, let's talk about how these two teams got here.
Both these teams coming in with a 4-1 record tonight. The New York Gremlins suffered their loss Thursday night to JB on a real come-from-behind effort there. And on the Bear Creek Express, they lost Thursday to Hallman, a 3-1 score. Earlier victories in the week. Sorry, I don't have them handy right now. I'll pull them out.
For Bear Creek?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get the bracket and we'll run through it. What about the Gremlins?
Gremlins, again, 4-1 loss, just suffered on Thursday night to JB. Sorry.
And then Bear Creek, they lost earlier to the Hallman Twins. Both of those were the other night, and both excellent ball games.
Both on Thursday night.
Well, we'll fill here a little bit further. Andrew Kirkpatrick is pitching for the Gremlins. He's warming up. You can just see him on the right of your frame. Bear Creek guys, you got some guys out on the right field side. A couple more on the left. And Joe, I'm going to assume that we're having to scramble to get a home plate umpire here.
And get them dressed and the equipment on.
Well, I see a golf cart headed this way. It does not have an umpire in it, so we'll have to fill a little bit further. Let's talk about the pitchers, Joe. And Sean Cleary had a no-hitter yesterday afternoon against the AWP team.
Sean Cleary, 29 and a third innings pitched so far. Record of 3-1 with 53 strikeouts, 13 walks. The backup pitcher to Sean Cleary this week has been Justin Schofield. Justin just pitched 2 2/3 of an inning, but did pick up a victory. 7 Ks and 2 walks for Sean Cleary and for Justin Schofield. For the New York Gremlins, most of the pitching has been handled by Andrew Kirkpatrick with 24 and a third innings pitched, a 3-0 record, 32 strikeouts, 2 walks.
It was Josh Pettit who came in, took the loss.
2/3 of an inning, it took a loss. Just had the 1 strikeout in that 2/3 of the inning.
So Brendan Bloom has arrived on the scene, and he'll be the home plate umpire. We're just about ready to go here in the losers bracket semifinal. Loser of this game will finish 4th. The winner will move on to play JB at a time to be determined, but I would assume it would be pretty much right away. And then awaiting the survivor of all of that, let's call it, is the Kitchener-Hallman Twins, who went right to the championship game with that 2-0 win last night that finished in a bit of a downpour. Huemo Mata, complete game shutout. And Joe, right now, I'm going to be hard-pressed to see anybody beating a rested Huemo Mata. He looks real good here this week.
And they're back in their motel rooms, just staying comfortable, staying relaxed, probably watching the game.
So Matthew Waugh will lead things off for the Gremlins. He'll be followed by Jerome Remeke, Ben Anoka, Eric Ochoa in the 4th spot, Wayne Laulu back in the lineup as the designated player, hitting 5th, Cole Evans 6th, Brian Avery in the 7th spot, Ladislaw Malarzouk, that's 8th, Nick Mullins will hit 9th and do the catching for the Gremlins. Defensively, for the Bear Creek Express, Quentin Bruce in left. In center field, it's Jordan Pomeroy. Out in right today, it's Tyler Paulai again. And then around the horn, Derek Mason, Nestor Nova, Brandon Horn, and Colin Walsh at first base. Cleary delivers first pitch and low and off the outside corner for ball 1. And again, if you're just getting in with us here on the ISC Network, Blair Setford, Joe Todd, this is the losers bracket semifinal. We have moved to a secondary diamond due to overnight rain and more rain in the forecast today. The field conditions, we're letting the main diamond dry out as much as possible, and we'll be back to that diamond hopefully for the losers bracket final as well as the championship game. But we're bringing you the losers bracket semi, the Gremlins and Bear Creek Express. Matthew Waugh lead off. That off the fence and a stand-up double, a big clap of the hands for Matthew Waugh. Belted out to left field over the head of Quentin Bruce. I thought Joe had a chance to get out, but just off the fence.
Great start there for the Gremlins. Matthew Watt took all of that pitch and drove it over the head of Quentin Bruce, standing on second base now in scoring position for Jerome Raymacki.
Well, Joe, you talked yesterday about the Gremlins, how they came out swinging against Devin McCullough, and the same thing here against Sean Cleary. A good at-bat by Matthew Waugh, looked at 2 pitches and then clobbered the third one. And here's the first of the mound visits already. Ryan Boland out to meet with Sean Cleary. There's a called strike, and that's probably at the top of the zone. I think that's what Jerome Remeke was just confirming with our home plate umpire, Brandon Bloom. Is that as high as you're going to go? And I suspect, Joe, the answer was yes. That was probably just under the letters.
Just wants to make sure how far he can go.
New diamond for both of these teams. I know Sean has struggled at times with the pitching mound and more so the landing area on the main diamond. We'll see how he adapts out here to this one. Chopper over the head of Cleary. Waugh got a late start, and the stop sign goes up. This throw comes in from Jordan Pomeroy in center. Waugh started, had to stop to make sure he didn't run into the ball. But the Gremlins, 2 hits, 2 runners aboard, runners on the corners.
Great runnings by Matthew Waugh to stop, take his time, make sure that ball went through. Now advance over to third base, runners on the corners.
And our second conference defensively already with the third batter of the game. Beninoka Joe had 3 hits the other night. Looked like he's rounding into form with the swing, but that explosive speed that he's got just doesn't seem to be there. He doesn't have the push or the drive through the legs, and it leads me to suspect, and we've talked about it through the week, maybe a groin injury or a core injury in there somewhere. The hits are there due to the talent and the bat speed with the hands, but just not the drive with the legs.
Yeah, he's going to have to be very careful, too, with his running from base to base.
Remeke bluffs, called strike. Joe, 2 games for Bear Creek stand out to me this week. One was the Grand Prairie game where they never led in that game. They were tied at points, but they had runners on against them every inning. Sean and then Justin Schofield dodged and bobbed and weaved and avoided all the bullets coming their way. They got the walk-off from Derek Mason as this pitch misses to Anoka. And then the game last night. Cleary, who has had real troubles with the landing area out there, persevered, throws a no-hitter at the AWP Lumberjacks in an elimination game, and just looked right on point last night.
Excellent control, was right on the same page as Ryan Boland.
Anoka fouls this one off. And Anoka, Joe, historically has had some pretty good success against Sean Cleary.
Oh, okay. We're going to test this out here with the runners on the corners.
Well, you go back to 2015 in the WBSC, and then more recently in Denmark, Sean Cleary pitched a 1-hitter against the Gremlins, lost 1-0 home run to this guy.
Very good.
So we'll get back on track. Gremlins. A double and a single from Waugh and then Remeke. Runners on the corners, nobody out. 3-batter Ben Anoka at the plate. And swinging a miss through there. Down on strikes goes Ben Anoka. That's a real good pitch, Joe. That drop ball from Cleary falling off the table. Anoka unable to handle that.
Good pitch location. Going to be hit anywhere. It's going to be hit into the infield.
Eric Ochoa, customary fist bump with the catcher and the umpire for his first plate appearance. Seems to work for him, Joe, because he's batting almost 700, I think, for the tournament. He
7 for
is
10.
right up there. 7 for
RBIs.
10, 4 RBIs. There you go. Off the plate for ball 1. Cleary deals and gets Ochoa to chase the big rise ball upstairs. That pitch at the eyes, Joe.
Very tempting. Persuaded Ochoa into that one.
It's a 1 ball, 1 strike. And thanks to our game changer scorekeeper right alongside us here, Joe, Hannah from the Denmark, Wisconsin area. Hard shot, past the diving Nestor Nova. Wah will trot in, but Eric Ochoa hurt himself on that swing. He has just now made it to first base and is down on one knee and goes to his backside as he is in a considerable amount of pain. You don't want to see that whatsoever. Eric Ochoa very hurt out on the diamond right now. That's a big, big stick for the Gremlins, and you just don't want to see anybody in the tournament down on the ground writhing in pain, Joe.
No. One of the top hitters for the Gremlins this week.
He must have really pulled something because he's in. Oh, he can't even stand.
Yeah.
Zenon Winters has emerged from the dugout with a helmet on. He's going to go for a little jog down the sideline. But, Joe, Zenon's injured, too. The reason he's not in the lineup, he sprained an ankle a couple of nights ago, came up lame in the outfield, literally was hopping to go make a catch and then went down on the ground. I know he's taped up, and he'll do what he can. But, boy, this looks serious for Ochoa. I've never seen him react like that whatsoever.
Best wishes for Eric.
Boy, that just looks serious. They're going to have to get some serious treatment for Eric. Samantha Knoll, the physical trainer for the Gremlins, and she's been out and has done a lot of work, Joe, not just with the Gremlins guys, but with others as well, and have been a big help to teams here this week. But Ochoa now out of your screen, but we can see him slowly making his way to the athletic training table in the back and behind the Gremlins bench. We'll keep an eye on Eric Ochoa for you, and hopefully he gets a little better, but he's very unstable on his feet right now. They're going to do their best to get him up on that table so he can rest. All right, back to the game in hand. Gremlins already leading 1-0. Only one down in the inning. Wayne Laulu to the plate. Jerome Remicke is at second base. Zenon Winters now in the ball game for Ochoa at first. And it's a called strike on the outside corner. Just trying to glance around, and Joe, I don't see anybody warming up just yet for the Express, but I also don't see Schofield in the dugout either. Hard hit ball in the infield. They tried to tag Remeke. Nestor Nova came across with the throw. They stepped on the bag. They got Zenon Winters. I don't think they tagged Remeke there. I think he avoided it. They did not get him. Yeah, you and I saw it the same way. So they get an out, but now runners on the corners.
Great play by Nova to kind of walk away from Jerome Remeke and then make a great toss over to first base, but unable to catch the Wayne Lalu going down the line.
So Cole Evans to the plate, Joe, and here's a guy that I think would have been the odds-on favorite for the Kevin Herlihy Award coming in, which is for the best newcomer at the ISC World Tournament. Cole has been spectacular defensively at shortstop for the Gremlins here this week. Struggled, to be fair, at the plate.
Yes, we have to remember he is, 19?
No, about 23.
Oh, 23 now? Yeah, that's right.
Fouled out of play. Don't know that Cleary liked either of the choices he was given on the ball. And disdainfully looked at both. 0-1 on Evans, the shortstop. And Joe, all of that, all those struggles can disappear with a big base hit here for the young man from New Zealand. Down and in for ball one.
Real wide open stance and then closes it off when the ball gets released.
But choked up just a bit too, and I've seen this from, and I don't know if it's just a Kiwi thing, Wayne Laulu choked up. And saw that with Remeke last night as well. And a changeup from Cleary, top of the zone, called a strike. He's pulled that one out of the bag early.
Nice pitch. Caught that outside corner of the plate. Throwing that changeup, very important to throw that for a strike.
So 1 ball, 2 strikes, and if Cleary can get that pitch working, that can be an equalizer if some of the other stuff isn't right there early in the game. Swing and a miss. Evans down on strikes. Sean Cleary works out of this little jam. They score 1. The Gremlins will take a 1-0 lead into the home half. Bear Creek to come to the plate.
The annual Boys of Summer Tournament is held every July at the Circle Tap Bar and Grill in Denmark, Wisconsin. We host some of the top teams in the game at one of the best venues in softball. The atmosphere of old-time fast pitch with all of the amenities of a full-service bar and grill in the grounds can't be beat. Reduced-rate hotels about 10 minutes from the park are available in Green Bay. To bring your team to the annual Boys of Summer Tournament next July, contact Dean Kane at deankane16@gmail.com. Thanks to Circle Tap for their support of the broadcast program. The annual Boys...
So just some shuffling on the defense. The designated player, Wayne Laulu, will go into play first base, and effectively Zenon Winters will become the designated player in Eric Ochoa's spot. So just a little bit of shuffling there by the Gremlins. Wayne, primarily an outfielder in his career, Joe, but has played a little bit of first base over the years. We'll see if that comes into play. I haven't seen Zenon Winters on the infield over the years. He's always been an outfielder, to the best of my knowledge.
Yeah, I've never seen him on the infield.
So leading off for the Bear Creek Express, it's Brendan Horn to face Andrew Kirkpatrick. He'll be followed by Quentin Bruce, Ryan Boland, Derek Mason, Kyle Ezekiel, Colin Walsh, Tyler Pauli, Jordan Pomeroy hits 8th, and Nestor Nova in the 9 spot for the Bear Creek Express. Chop foul by Horn. Defensively for the Gremlins, Matthew Waugh is in left field, Beninoka in center, Brian Avery is in right, and then on the infield, round the horn, Jerome Remeke, Cole Evans, Ladislaw Malorzook, and now Wayne Laulu, as we talked about at first. Nick Mullins behind the plate, and Andrew Kirkpatrick. The legendary, I think it's safe to say now, Joe, the legendary Andrew Kirkpatrick out on the mound for the Gremlins. Hard shot, but right at Cole Evans. Johnny on the spot snares that line drive from Brandon Horn.
Great play there by Cole Evans. Still maintaining his defensive part of the game.
Gremlins based out of Clifton Park, New York. Bear Creek from the Chippewa and the Thames First Nation in southwestern Ontario, in the just southwest of London.
Yes, just on the way to Sarnia, just off the 402 highway.
Little change of pace there from Kirkpatrick. Both the guys pulled the change-ups out early. Quentin Bruce having a whale of a tournament, Joe.
Quentin Bruce, 6 for 14, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs, 429 batting average.
Just missed out the outside corner. The curveball, big sweeping curve from Kirkpatrick. Tried to bend that across the outside corner of the plate, but just missed. And Bruce fouls that straight back. Joe, I want to take you back 2019, and Quentin Bruce playing in the ISC championship game with the Kitchener Cubs and against the New York Gremlins, and just looked overmatched against Kirkpatrick. Here we are 3 years later, and swing and a miss there. I was just about to say, he doesn't look overmatched anymore, but doesn't handle the changeup there for Andrew Kirkpatrick. The curse of the broadcasters continues. Quentin, I'm sorry. But I think it's a safe point to say Quentin Bruce coming into his own here this ISC World Tournament.
Big improvements over the past 2 years.
Boland holds back.
Ryan Boland having a great tournament too. Offensively, 5 for 14, 1 home run, 4 RBIs, 357 batting average.
And goes around there, and they're working the changeup pretty hard here, Joe. Some scouting that maybe the Express don't hit the changeup well. And swing and a miss there. That's the curveball in the outside corner. Joe, seeing a report here in the comments that Zenon did play a little bit of infield back in the mid-2000s, but that's 15, 17 years ago now. I guess that makes Zenon a veteran.
Yes.
Swing and a miss, chases downstairs. They retire the Express 1-2-3 in the home half of the first. The Gremlins lead 1-0 through 1 complete.
Whatever your delivery requirements are across North America, Skelton Truck Lines provides you with reliable, safe, and high-quality service at a fair price. Skelton Truck Lines equipment is satellite tracked and delivers small parcel, less than truckload, and expedited shipments throughout Canada and the U.S. With over 50 years of experience and more than 50 trucks serving 4 divisions, Skelton Truck Lines is a thriving Ontario business and a proud Fastball sponsor. Visit us online at skeltontruck.com. Thanks to Mike Skelton for supporting the broadcast program.
Back here in the ISC Network, Blair Setford, Joe Todd. If you're just getting in with us, well, we know that we're delayed by about an hour. Joe, what time did we start today?
I think it was about 11:58.
So a noon start, let's call it an hour behind schedule. Had a lot of rain overnight. If you were with us last night for the Twins JB game, the winter bracket final, you saw that start to come down around 9:30, which was about an hour and a half after we were supposed to get it yesterday. We got lucky, I think, to get that game in last night. But weather overnight, the Diamonds, very wet this morning. The grounds crew's done a miraculous job to get 4 ISC Legends quarterfinal games going this morning. Got this diamond ready, and we are underway here on Diamond 6, secondary diamond. The main diamond continues to dry out. We're hopeful that we might play the loser bracket final on that diamond. If not, we'll continue to bring you the play here on the ISC Network, and maybe we'll get there for the championship game later today. Gremlins scored top of the first, leadoff double by Matthew Waugh, came around to third on the single by Jerome Remeke, and scored on the infield hit by Eric Ochoa. Well, actually, that was a solid hit by Ochoa, but we were all taken aback by the injury that he suffered. Looked like he tore an oblique muscle or something in his core. He's had to leave the game. Wish him well, and he's continuing to receive treatment down behind the Gremlins bench. So Brian Avery to the plate, and Joe, there have been some spectacular catches here this week. Brian Avery made one of them going up and over the flex fence on the main diamond. You won't do that here on this diamond. This is a permanent fence. Nobody's going to be running through anything today.
Wonder if he did the hurdles in high school.
Well, he certainly got a foot onto the top of that flex fence and used whatever resistance was there to propel himself up and over. That was as good as any I've seen here this week.
Great grab, great focus.
Fouled straight back to the screen, and Gremlins, Joe, are right on Sean Cleary today.
Very aggressive with the sticks, going after the first couple of pitches here, thinking that Sean's always wanting to get ahead in the count.
Joe, want to say hi to the Hackmeister family. We miss Ken, too, here at the ISC, and thank you for joining us. And again, fouled out of play. Avery right on. Pitches here from Cleary, and there's, you know, Joe, there's really no secrets anymore amongst anybody. Avery would have caught and did catch for Sean down in Paraná in Argentina in April. You know, the pitcher-catcher, that's as close as you're going to get for an entire week.
And pretty well the last 6 weekends, Blair, they've been playing against each other.
That's right, on the tournament circuit. So you have all these events over the course of the year. It all leads into the ISC World Tournament, and it's who can survive here at the ISC. And Joe, you and I are talking about this over breakfast, the parity in this year's events. Nobody dominated. The Gremlins maybe won more tournaments than anybody, but they lost in the finals of a couple, or even the semifinals of a couple of events this year. There's been no one dominant team. Nobody came here as the clear-cut favorite. And personally, for me, it's been an absolute treat to watch these ball games unfold, not having any idea who the winner was going to be going in. This one lifted way up the elevator shaft. Calling for it is Walsh, and he'll come in close to the screen and catch that one. It drifted on him a little bit, and he gave a tap of the glove to Ryan Bolin, saying, yep, I called for it. I had to take it.
Yeah. But great parity, as we talked. A lot of the teams on fairly equal status there. That's what makes it fun to watch, too. You're coming to the ballpark, watching the game on your screens, and saying, well, I wonder who's going to win this one. There's no clear-cut favorites.
Ladislav Malor-Zuk to the plate. Joe, here's the guy, if he can get untracked, can carry a team. He's hit the ball hard, just hasn't had the results here this week. When he gets on, he's had the green light to run. He's racked up a couple of stolen bases. Puts the pressure on the defense, but he just hasn't fully been able to get on track this week. And I kind of feel the same way about Cole Evans. Just hasn't been able to get up to expectations.
When you're not doing that, then you have to make sure your defense is at the top of its game.
Good pitch in the outside corner. Set up outside again, just off the dish this time. Cleary, very deliberate, Joe.
Very accurate to the mitt there. Ryan Bolin set up outside, right into the mitt.
And this one slashed into the screen.
Cleary with 53 strikeouts in the 5 games this week, averaging just a little bit over 10 strikeouts per game. To me, last night's game was his drop ball was working extremely well.
You got a lot of ground ball outs, we noticed, and you also picked up on that in the winter bracket final. Huemo Mata only had 1 fly ball out the entire game. This one is laced down the left side, but that just goes foul. You've got about the exact same view that we've got. We are about 2 feet to your right in terms of our view of the park. So we're sharing a common vantage point today. One ball, 2 strikes on Ladislav Malor-Zuk from Argentina. Came up through the ranks in their U19 program at the time. Graduated on to the men's club. Has a U19 world title, I believe, as well as the WBSC men's championship. This one off the plate. Pan Am Games gold medal.
He has a huge trophy case at home.
Well, and he's got 2 ISC championships with the Gremlins in 18 and 19. The Gremlins as an organization have been on Championship Saturday going all the way back to 2012, and even before that, Joe, if you count the Chicago, New York teams.
Great depth over the last 10, 15 years.
Well, Greg Leather first brought the New York Knights to ISC2 in 2008. Took that team up to ISC in 09. Chicago, New York, I think 10, 11, and then the Gremlins in 12, if I remember correctly.
Originally, a lot of those players were off the modified game, I believe.
That's absolutely correct. And we've seen some of them here this week. Jeff Hook has been around the park. Called strike 3, outside corner. Down goes Ladislav Maller. Zook thought that was maybe a bit low.
2 strikes still have to protect the plate.
Nick Mullins to the plate, batting 9. And swing and a miss by Mullins. Joe, either of those are a unique brand of batting glove, or it looks like he's got farmer's work gloves on.
He bought them over that Farm Fleet store that we go by every day.
If the Gremlins are still around on a later broadcast when we get back to the main diamond, we'll get you a close-up of those. But they are kind of dirt brown and camo green, almost olive drab. For all the world, they look like work gloves. Called strike. Mullins, whether on the swing or the call, could have gone either way. 1-2 on Nick Mullins, who works hard as anybody behind the plate. And fouls that one off. Straight back, Joe. Had a good cut.
Nick Mullins did play some semi-pro baseball before he came over to the men's fast pitch game.
Played D1 in university at Pittsburgh. Was a catcher there. And you're right, played, I think, some semi-pro, you're right, and made the transition into fast pitch, and I think within about 3-4 years was on Team USA. Currently the catcher for the Americans.
Great leadership skills.
Swing and a miss, down on strikes. Cleary closes the door in the top of the second inning. The Gremlins, 1-0 lead. Bear Creek Express coming to the plate, bottom of the second.
Whatever your delivery requirements are across North America, Skelton Truck Lines provides you with reliable, safe, and high-quality service at a fair price. Skelton Truck Lines equipment is satellite tracked and delivers small parcel, less than truckload, and expedited shipments throughout Canada and the U.S. With over 50 years of experience and more than 50 trucks serving 4 divisions, Skelton Truck Lines is a thriving Ontario business and a proud fastball sponsor. Visit us online at skeltontruck.com. Thanks to Mike Skelton for supporting the broadcast program.
Joe, Derek Mason in the 4th spot for the Bear Creek Express this afternoon. Kyle Ezekiel, Colin Walsh, 4-5-6 for the Express. Joe, Sean Cleary gets settled in. Opportunity then for the Express to try and chip away, tie this game against the Gremlins, and then hope that Sean can keep this powerful Gremlins lineup in check.
Well, they always say if you're going to get to Sean Cleary, get him early. Gremlins did pick up that 1 run, 3 hits.
Called strike in the outside corner. Bit of a contrast in styles, too, Joe. Andrew Kirkpatrick gets the ball back to the top of the circle, right to the board, a sign, and goes. Cleary very deliberate in his work, let's call it. take his time with the sign, wants to be physically ready, but also mentally ready. For Sean, it's absolutely, as the old saying goes, what is it? Half the game is 90% mental or something like that. Mason, deep right field, but not deep enough. Brian Avery will come across to make the catch. Gremlins will snap the ball around the infield, and no, your eyes do not deceive you. That is indeed Wayne Laulu at first. Eric Ochoa suffering some type of core injury, still receiving some treatment in behind the Gremlins bench. Kyle Ezekiel laces this one to the gap. That's going to one-hop the fence. Wah will pick it up and throw it into second, and aboard with a stand-up double, Kyle Ezekiel.
Kyle hit a gap there in between the left fielder and the center fielder. Good wheels rounding the bag.
So Colin Walsh to the plate with one down, runner in scoring position. And as you said, an opportunity for the Express to tie it. And this one is lifted up short right center. Ben Anoka on the charge, a collision with Ladislaw Malherzuk. Kyle Ezekiel will slide into third. That ball was in no man's land, Joe, but Ben Anoka came out of nowhere, really. He was in a full mad dash to make that grab, and I think he was the one who ended up catching it.
No, he didn't catch it.
He didn't catch it.
He
Was
did
it
not
Avery
catch
then?
it. No, he did not catch it. Umpire at first base said he did not catch it.
Okay.
Ben Anoka come the closest to catching it.
All right, from where I'm seeing, I thought he got it, but again, we're looking through a mesh screen, and we're about 148 feet away here. So runners on the corners, and a break for the Express. And Tyler Paulai to the plate, infield in for the Gremlins. And a called strike in the outside corner.
Tyler Paulai 4 for 14, 286 in his 5 games.
Inside from Kirkpatrick. Paulai, last year's leading hitter in the ISC at his tender young age of 24, Joe. That was already his second ISC batting title. Had a notion to go, no, says our third base umpire.
Eli Salgado from Florida.
And Joe, who's on first base?
Cody Lefebvre from Missouri at first base.
And then we got Brendan Bloom substituted in. There's a called strike in the outside corner.
Brandon Bloom was scheduled to do our second game, so I'm sure they'll be just flip-flopping.
And Remeke and Kyle Ezekiel, I think, came together out at third. Joe, I didn't see this one at all. But suddenly Kyle Ezekiel was down. I don't know whether he stepped awkwardly onto the bag and half rolled an ankle. But it's the end of a long, intense week. And injuries at this point, Joe, are not uncommon.
No, not. They just seem to have to make sure they drink a lot of water throughout the week, make sure they don't cramp up. Do have a pinch runner now at third base.
That's number 7, Dallas Cornelius will come on to pinch run, and Ezekiel will get an opportunity to go rest whatever happened to him. It looked like it was the right leg. Walsh wanted to come over for a meeting, but he's being chased back to first base. Cody Lefebvre was pretty emphatic about that. Nope, you're not going anywhere. Get back to the bag. And all these little squib, that's an excuse me check swing foul. Right back to the screen.
Big part of the game right here. Runners on the corners, just one down.
Pauley, a little bleeder to Malherzuk. They're going to come in and score. They tried to get the tag on Walsh, didn't get it as Malherzuk was in front of the runner.
Malherzuk's claiming he touched him, but he's not going to win that one. Runner scored.
I'm not even sure he made an attempt to take.
Yeah.
He kind of looked behind him a little bit, but I think Walsh was mostly past him by that point. So an RBI ground out for Tyler Pauley, and we got ourselves a tie ball game. Another runner in scoring position to boot. Jordan Pomeroy, Joe, 4 RBIs last night for the young man from Newfoundland and Labrador. Had been in the leadoff spot all week, dropped down to the 8 hole as Paul McCart stuck the names in a blender, and that was how they came out. Had an RBI double and then a big 3-run home run. All the RBIs last night, not 4-0 win over the AWP Lumberjacks.
Confidence is contagious, so hopefully that continues on for today for the Bear Creek Express.
Fouled out of play. Joyce Young's man has tremendous bat speed. He's not a big physical specimen by any means, but he generates a lot of bat speed, and he makes good solid contact. Downstairs, good block by Nick Mullins.
Covers a lot of territory in center field, too. Great wheels.
Walsh runs quite well out at second, so anything on the grass should give him a good opportunity to score, but you've got some really good arms out in the outfield. And this one is lifted to the gap over in left, but Matthew Waugh will come across to make the catch near the fence, give it a ride, but the Express score 1, and we are tied at 1 through 2 complete. Joe, the sun creeping out here just a little bit on Diamond 6, and if we could get some of that going, that'll dry the other diamonds out for us a little bit faster.
Even if it stays out for a good half an hour, that would be great.
The weather forecast was not promising for Saturday, and you and I were concerned about this all week. We might get to Saturday and run into some weather difficulties. It started late last night, about 9:30. If you're with us again in that winners bracket final, the last inning and a half played under a drizzle. And then ironically enough, as the game ended, the rain mostly ended too, and we were fairly dry walking out to the car.
Yes. A little good lightning show later on.
So Matthew Waugh to the plate, top of the 3rd inning. Gremlins, second time through.
Matthew Waugh having a good week at the plate, 4 for 9, 444.
Well, he picked up 3 of those hits yesterday afternoon. Went from being on the schneid to the talk of the town. One for one here today with a double. You see Cleary doing some landscaping. The landing area is so important to pitchers. You need that stability all the way through your kinetic motion. There's a called strike. Waugh wants to know if that's the top of the zone, and he's told yes. Not sure he's convinced,
No.
but he's told yes.
Matthew Waugh says, "You're a lot taller than I am."
That's very true. Brendan Bloom is taller than most people here. Upstairs from Cleary. Waugh not going to chase that. For our fastball fans on Softball Premier TV, thanks for joining us here on the ISC Network as we're down to a single camera for this game at least. We hope to get back on the main diamond in our full complement of cameras and languages as Luciano Lafrano has a game off, Joe, and he actually earned a game off.
Him and his wife Petronas has done a great job this week. All those great camera shots you've been looking at. Luciano doing the switching, keeping the scoreboard up to date.
And for fun, just doing the Spanish commentary in and amongst all of that. I don't know how he does it. I really don't. He just does an absolutely tremendous job. And we'll be back with Softball Premier TV with the Spanish language a little bit later in the day, weather permitting. Well, nothing's wrong with Luciano, but just with the single camera setup, we can only broadcast through one computer today, and we're doing it on the ISC network in English. We'll be back to the dual broadcasts, again, weather permitting, later in the day, hopefully with both the loser bracket final and then the championship game. Certainly we hope the championship game, if nothing else, back on the main diamond. Fouled off. Good pitch there. Cleary's got a lot of guys waving underneath that rise ball, but Matthew Waugh able to foul that off.
With 2 strikes, you got to stay on that pitch. Just keep looking for your pitch. Sean Cleary just catching the corners here. That's all he's looking for. Doesn't want too much of the plate.
Change up called. Strike 3. Waugh cannot pull the trigger at all. Frozen at the plate, and that was a beauty from Sean Cleary.
Great call by Ryan Bolin. Jerome Ramacki is having a great week. 7 for 12, 583, 5 RBIs.
That's every other week for him, Jerome Remeke, too. This guy has just been a machine since he's come into the ISC. I can't remember a bad ISC from Remeke. You go back to 2011 with the Jarvis Travelers, and he was over here as a 17-year-old. So into his mid-late 20s, and he's already a 5-time All-World player. He's got half his career ahead of him still. Way up. And that's way back. Joe, there's some breeze. I can see the trees moving, but I'm unable to really get a sense of which way it's blowing right now. If it's similar to last night, it would seem to be blowing somewhat out to right center, but we'll have to figure that one out. We'll have to go throw some grass up in the air somewhere.
You're a golfer, Blair.
Well, I'm not a golfer. I play golf, but I'm not a golfer.
Okay.
There's a big difference.
I have my traditional 1 game a year.
Remeke laces this one out to left. Bruce turns to watch it go. Home run. Joe, we have seen Jerome Remeke hit line drive after line drive out to left field with an inside-out swing, and this one on a line and out of the park, just cleared the fence. It was not a big booming shot, but just enough to get out of here.
He has a lot of power going that opposite way.
One of, if not the best, left-handed power hitter in the game.
I agree.
Beninoka to the plate as the Gremlins restore that one-run lead. And he chops the first one foul. And I thought, Joe, that they were working Remeke really well. That pitch was supposed to be off the outside corner, but got a little bit too much at the plate. And Remeke, as you like to say, just went with the pitch and able to drive it out of the park. Called strike in the outside corner to Beninoka.
Sean might want to stay out there or keep that ball in on his hands. Beninoka, another one of those batters that have a lot of power if that ball gets up in the letters.
Well, Ben's traditional power zone has been right center field, and Pomeroy's actually is shaded over towards left a little bit. And Anoka fouls this one back to the screen. Benny has always liked to have the ball travel in the zone and come through and hit it to the opposite field. Well, Pomeroy's moved over a bit to be straight up. And just off the outside corner, trying to work away. One ball, two strikes to Inoka. And Joe, yeah, I like the idea for Cleary here. You come in on the hands. You might know that Inoka maybe nursing an injury, doesn't have that full drive through the zone. We go upstairs, and that's up and out. And Joe, question or a comment in the comments here from Tyler Dudley. It goes back to the question last night about the top hitter in the game and Jerome Remeke, and that is as good an answer as any. Lenny Villavazzo right there too. Tyler Dudley, no arguments here this week. Eric Ochoa in that conversation as well. Swing and a miss. Anoka down on strikes second time tonight. Or this afternoon at least. So we'll test the ankle with Zenon Winters in for Ochoa. And Joe Ochoa back on the bench. So the treatment that he was receiving.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, it seems to have helped, and back in the dugout. First pitch just off the outside corner, ball one. Winters must have that right ankle taped up quite heavily, Joe. He's not quite flexing it when he walks.
No, it is typed up fairly, and it's very. He's hardly putting any pressure on that front leg.
Strike there as Zenon Winters went around. And yeah, Joe, I've personally been in that similar situation, rolled an ankle on the right side as a left-handed batter. It's tough when you can't put the weight down as you're transferring through with your swing. It's awkward.
Yeah, you're transferring the weight from that back foot to that front foot, and just nothing is there.
And this one is laced out to left. Zenon is aboard with a base hit as Quentin Bruce dived and was able to snare it. And I'm not sure about that dive, Joe. He's lucky he snared that, because otherwise that goes to the fence. And you've got a guy probably on third. You got to be careful diving. Like, you can only go for it if you know you can make the catch.
Yes.
Otherwise, you've got to keep it in front of you.
He was very hesitant at the start.
So Winters aboard, hard hit ball. And that'll bring us to Wayne Laulu. Wayne aboard with the fielder's choice. Called strike in the outside corner. Long inning here again, Joe, for Cleary out on the board. Very similar to the first. Upstairs, misses 1-1. How many pitches for Sean?
59.
59 pitches, and we are only 2 outs into the third, so 20 pitches an inning, and we're not done yet.
A little bit over my preferred limit. I look between 14 and 16.
Well, what did he throw last night for the no-hitter? 89, 90?
It was 93, I believe.
And again, for the pitchers, it is a marathon here this week. It's primarily one guy per team who typically is going to carry a team through this far. Big cut from Wayne Laulu. Wow.
Is his shoe still on?
Keep your shoes tied up tight. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rise ball fouled off. Real tight spin on the ball from Cleary. Good underspin for the rise ball from that 6 to 12 rotation.
He's going to have to be really careful here now with Wayne. I'm going to say a drop.
Well, the rise ball has been the strikeout pitch of choice over the week, but he had just had a real good cut at one there. They went the rise ball again and followed right back to the screen again. So, yeah, Joe, maybe now you change the eye level.
Wayne is saying, gee, I missed that one. Give that one back to me.
They've busted a couple of righties in with the hard drop under the hands. Let's see if that's where they go. Hard shot. Nestor Nova ranges over and can't hang on to the ball at first. Colin Walsh has it in and out of the glove and a board. Joe, you're going to go with a base hit or an error on that E3?
E3, I believe.
You're going E3? Yeah, I don't disagree. It was a tough chance. Nestor Nova, one step to his right and snared that hot shot. It was another rise ball, and Laulu got most of it on the ground.
Great arm by Nova getting it over to first base. Little low. Colin Walsh would probably say he should have had that.
Our official score, E3. Well, we're all on the same page, Joe.
Good.
Runners at first and second. 2 out. Cole Evans to the plate. Opportunity for the Gremlins to extend this 2-1 lead. They're back out in front. Jerome Remicke, a solo shot. The sun peeks out again from behind the clouds. In tight, ball 1. And hard hit ball, Nestor Nova makes a diving stab to his left. Joe Evans can't buy a break. He scorched that, but Nestor Nova snares it.
Trying his best to get going, but not this inning.
Murphy's Fish and Chips is not only a great place to get some of the best seafood in Canada, but is also one of the best fastball sponsors in the game. Voted Nova Scotia's best fish and chips by Eastlink TV, Murphy's is a family institution since 1996 and a proud fastball sponsor of many Canadian and ISC championship teams. Open 7 days a week. Come join us for our famous English-style fish and chips or any of our daily specials. Murphy's is located at 88 Esplanade in Truro, Nova Scotia. We thank Dave T. Anderson and Murphy's Fish and Chips for their commitment to fastball and the broadcast program.
You make a great defensive play, you get to come up to the plate. Joe Todd, Nestor Nova going to his right, going to his left, and squares to bunt. And pulls it back, but gets a strike on the outside corner. Joe, newcomer here to the ISC. Nestor, late addition to the Bear Creek roster from the Dominican Republic on their national team. And right on that pitch.
Yes. Plays a great defense. Right now, he's maybe still learning the men's fast pitch game. From the pitching side of it, anyway. Or the hitting side, sorry.
Upstairs to Nova. Yeah, defensively, he's right there with anybody. It's just a question of how long it'll take him to pick up on the hitting. Ball comes in from across the way and out to Kirkpatrick. Downstairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Leadoff batter for Bear Creek in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Trailing now again 2-1. And swing and a miss or the top of the drop. Down on strikes. And Brandon Horn will come to the dish. Brandon stung it. His first at bat, but ground out.
Happy 37th birthday to Brandon Horn.
I saw that this morning. 37. I remember Brandon, 2005, with the Bridgeport Braves and ISC 2 in Chippewa Falls. "19 years old, I think, back then. On the inside corner from Kirkpatrick.
Brandon 4 for 11 this week, 364. Started the week at the bottom of the order. Moved up to the top now.
And there's a strike, took something off that one. And Joe Brandon had retired after 2018, so didn't play the 2019 World Tournament at Circle Tap. Of course, 2020 and 2021, really nobody, at least in Ontario, got much of an opportunity to play. But back out of retirement, and we saw him in his first tournament in
Mitchell,
and it didn't look like he'd missed a
no,
thing.
didn't miss a beat. Still the old Hoover vacuum that he was when he left the game.
Just pokes that one foul. Not a pitch he was going to handle, but the presence of mind to get the bat out and just foul it off.
Don't put that call in the umpire's hands. Swing the bat.
Did that go off the glove of
I thought so.
Laulu? So that was touched in fair territory.
Yep.
And Horn just kept running and is up to second on a double. I thought it went off the glove in fair territory.
I thought so too.
Greg Leather is going to come out and ask for an explanation. Now the Blue Crew's going to get together and talk about it. Kirkpatrick was already discussing it with Cody Lefebvre. And now they're ruling it a foul ball. I mean, we are, again, looking through the cloth mesh, and
2 or 3 layers.
yeah, so it's...
Wayne came very close to it, but
Clearly. So now Brandon Bloom's going to make the explanation of Paul McCart. You want to get the call right, and that's why the 3 umpires get together, and occasionally you'll see a call overturned. It's kind of the equivalent of replay, I guess.
we just won't be sending it to New York.
Yeah, we can't afford that. Two balls, 2 strikes, and in tight to Horn. So full count. 1 down here. Bottom of the 3rd inning. New York Gremlins out in front, 2-1.
Is Brandon going to screw up my score sheet? I got a double already, Mark.
You already wrote it down,
Yeah.
huh? You were pretty quick. Here's a little chopper, and Horn and Mullins will almost come together. Nick is so quick out of the crouch to get balls like that. Horn hadn't even left the box yet.
Great bounce there.
Kirkpatrick shakes 2. You don't often see that. And again, a chopper in the infield. Kirkpatrick will come get it. Throws a seed to first, but safe. Brandon Horn beats out that infield single. Wow, Kirkpatrick looks like he could pitch baseball with that sidearm.
And it was a tough throw because I don't think his feet were planted at the time of his throw. So all that strength of getting that ball up was all upper body.
Leadoff batter does what he needs to do, gets a board.
Bang, bang calls here by the umpires.
Quentin
Real
Bruce
close.
Laces this one to center. That's going to fall in front of Anoka, and Quentin Bruce continues the hit parade for the Bear Creek Express. 2 runners aboard now, and Ryan Boland to the plate with only 1 down, and an opportunity again for Bear Creek to tie the game.
Just 1 out.
And chases upstairs. Big rise ball. Big inside rise ball from Kirkpatrick. And Boland hasn't been able to lay off that pitch. That's twice now he's chased that one upstairs.
And I imagine he's going to stay right there.
This one is laced out to left, and Matthew Waugh misplays that. He was coming in, and that ball was headed over his head. And it clanked off his glove, and he's lucky it fell basically right in front of him and didn't ricochet away, but completely misplayed and an uncharacteristic mistake out there from Matty Waugh.
Ball was well hit, but Matthew Waugh didn't know whether to come in, go back.
Well, he was coming in, and it was going to go over his head because of that. So bases loaded. Derek Mason, cleanup batter for Bear Creek Express to the plate. And Joe, if you're going to load the bases, you want your cleanup hitter up. Infield in. Well, Cole Evans now a couple steps back, but I think he'll come in on the pitch. That one misses down low, ball 1. Horn at third, Quentin Bruce at second, Ryan Boland at first, Derek Mason at the plate. And that one upstairs, ball 2. Jeff Lyons has come out in the on-deck circle, so that twisted ankle to Kyle Ezekiel must have been more serious than we thought, but Lyons is hurt too, so I don't know whether this is another ruse. They sent him out to the on-deck circle yesterday. Downstairs to Mason, 3-0. Nowhere to put him. Good hitters count here. Do you turn him loose, Joe?
Yes.
Called a strike, a late call by Brandon Bloom. Mason was 4 steps down first base.
Yes.
He and Bloom will smile about that one.
Brandon will still have the final call.
So 3-1 to the cleanup batter for the Express. Still a great hitters count. And called a strike on the outside corner. Mason didn't toss the bat this time, waited for the call, was hoping it was going to be ball 4. Hasn't swung a bat yet. 3-2.
Drop ball with just 1 out.
Kirkpatrick has shaken 2 off. This one is going to go foul down the right side. They came with the inside rise ball, Joe, and I wonder if it was just not so much the pitch, but the location that they wanted to get settled on.
Nick's going out to talk to him right now.
Josemi Villavazo is working down the right field line, out of play and out of your screen for the Gremlins. Inside drop, Mason over the top. Great pitch there from Kirkpatrick.
Worked his way back from the 3-0 count to put down Mason for the second out of the inning.
So, Joe, there is a substitution. Lyons, indeed, comes to the plate for Kyle Ezekiel. And that ankle must be pretty sore. Meeting on the mound with Mullins, Kirkpatrick, and the 2 guys on the left side, Remeke and Evans, all part of the conversation. Time called by Lyons. That was a long look in for Kirkpatrick. Not sure they've been on the same page. There's very rarely a shake by Kirkpatrick, but he's shaken off 2-3 times now at least in the last couple of batters.
I think he just missed the last. They had a mix-up just 1 or 2 pitches ago.
Well, trying to come home as nobody covers. Oh, alert base running there by Brandon Horn. What a great play by the veteran. That ball ricocheted forward from Mullins. He went to go get it. Kirkpatrick was still where he landed, and Horn saw that nobody was at the plate. He races home and scores with a diving slide, gets the hand across the plate. We got a tie ball game. Wow!
Great hustle.
Downstairs to the Lions. Yeah, I guess you have to go pass ball with that, Joe.
Yes, that's what I did.
Bruce up to third in the play. Boland anchored to first. Big cut by Lions, comes up empty.
Tough situation for Lions to come off the bench, come into this situation.
Well, everybody's got to be ready to play. Chopper right to Laulu. He will field that, and Jeff Lyons comes up lame trying to go down to first, and you're going to see him limp across your screen. Joe, whoever is left at the end of this one might not have enough to play JB at the rate we're going.
This business was opened in 1965 by my father, Ned Matiosi. Could have walked in here 25, 30 years ago and seen just about the same thing. The process of making this suit takes about 6 weeks. It goes through about 12 or 13 hands as it's moved along the line. It's an old-time place. Making stuff from scratch here in the city at a reasonable cost. It's a very personal type of business.
Two through 4 complete, and Joe, these two teams pretty evenly matched. They come in ranked as 2 and 4. The Twins were the 1 seed, of course, and Hill United was the 3. JB came in 6 and performed at least above the rankers' expectations. Of course, all those rankings had to be in by mid-July. Well, it was after the boys' summer tournament.
Yep.
So a lot of ball was played after the boys' summer. Called a strike inside corner. Brian Avery leading things off for the New York Gremlins. 7-8-9, Avery, Malarzook, Mullins. And we'll see if the pattern holds, Joe. The odd number innings haven't been so good for Cleary. The even one was.
Gremlins with 2 runs on 5 hits, left 4 runners on base. Bear Creek with 2 runs, 4 hits, 3 runners left on base. Both teams have made 1 error.
0-2 on Brian Avery. This one fouled down the right side. Avery popped out to Walsh up against the screen. That was back in the second. And he was leading off then, too. Avery lifts this one up right field. Moving over, Tyler Paulai will make the catch. One down. If you joined us late, Blair Scepter, Joe Todd on the ISC Network. We're on a secondary diamond. The main diamond hopefully drying out with a little bit of breeze and the occasional bit of sunshine. We had some pretty good active weather overnight. Rained hard. And the diamond a little soggy this morning when we got here. Grounds crew's done a great job to get 4 Legends games underway by about 10:30. Swing and a miss there by Maller Zook. This game was originally scheduled for 11. That got a bite out of Ryan Boland. This game was originally scheduled for 11. And Boland now down to one knee. He's not happy. That got him on the hand, I think, right? Was it the follow-through or the ball?
I think it was the ball.
I know the thing these days is to keep the bare hand on the shin pad so you can get to the glove quicker in the event of a steal, but I don't know. I always would have kept the bare hand behind me for just this reason. And Ryan Boland is probably the toughest guy on the diamond, if not in the tournament. And if he's in pain, he really is in pain. He's not faking it in any way, shape, or form. He gets a drink. That was Mitch Pringle, the backup catcher, who come out to help out his mate.
Got the pads on and the bench.
Got to be ready. You never know when you're going to warm somebody up. This one lift out to left. Bruce will range over to his right, reach up, and make the grab. 2 down. Pair of fly balls. Nick Mullins to the plate. He can commiserate with Boland. Now, Mullins must have hurt us because he's gone to a pair of shiny white batting gloves, Joe.
His mom called him.
Well, he struck out the last time, so he's changed gloves.
Yes.
He's fouled this one back over the screen for strike 1. There's more clouds circling around. Haven't seen the sun in about 10-15 minutes now. Forecast was never great for today. Right now, they're talking rain later this afternoon by 2:30, 3 o'clock. We were supposed to get 80% chance of rain. We're going to hope that we can avoid it. We'll be doing the anti-rain dance up here in the press box. Burn some tea leaves or whatever it is do we need to do. Sacrifice a chicken. Well, we'd never actually do that, but pop culture reference for you baseball fans out there. One-on-one on Mullins. And that one called a strike in the outside corner, so 1-2 now.
Cleary struck out Mullins on a rise ball back in the second inning. See if he comes back with that same pitch. See if that's in Ryan Boland's memory bank.
Looks like a drop ball, Joe, and it's lifted up to Brandon Horn. He'll settle on that just out onto the outfield grass. 1 step. 3 fly balls, 3 outs. Cleary has a good, even inning. We'll go to the home half of the fourth. Tied at 2, the Express will come to the plate.
Do you need a reliable supply of products to run your business? Are you tired of having to deal with multiple suppliers to get everything you need? Absolute Business Supply is your dedicated, full-service business supply partner offering over 400,000 products and unmatched customer service. At ABS, we aren't just selling products. We offer a commitment to building meaningful relationships with our customers, getting to know your business goals so we can provide the best possible solutions for your needs. Find us on the web at absolutebusinesssupply.ca and let us get it for you.
Joe, Andrew Kirkpatrick, who was working so quickly during his warm-up pitches, I was afraid we weren't even going to get the ad in from Absolute Business Supply. Colin Walsh back to the plate. 6th batter in the Bear Creek Express lineup. And this is upstairs. And that one is fouled off to the screen. Kirkpatrick had the 1-2-3 first, Joe, but the Express have been able to get runners aboard the last couple of innings. A run in each. And downstairs. Good eye by Walsh on the core of the team named for Team Canada to go to Auckland, New Zealand later this fall. And ball 4, Kirkpatrick, not quite as crisp, Joe, as certainly as he looked in the first.
No, he hasn't been sharp. Those pitches just off that plate. First walk today for Kirkpatrick. Don't like those leadoff walks.
Tyler Pauli was called a strike, and Mullins was up ready to throw. Malheur-Zook was circling in behind Walsh. Set play there by the Gremlins. And swing and a miss by Pauli, chases downstairs. And chase again. Kirkpatrick took something off that one and fooled young Pauli.
Great location, too, just on the outside corner of the plate. Pauli had to step out and reach for it.
Jordan Pomeroy, last night's hero. Chopper on the infield. Evans turn to Malheur-Zook. They'll get the lead runner as Walsh. Hard slide right at the bag, not past it, right to the bag. And Malheur-Zook, like you're supposed to do, use the bag to protect himself. And they get the force.
Good play by Evans to charge that ball, too. Good wheels by Walsh going down that line.
Well, Joe, if nothing else, Nestor Nova does not get cheated at the plate with those swings. Nothing half-hearted about that. Fouls this one to the screen. On the move was Pomeroy. Nova fouls that one off, trying to protect 0-2.
Starting to rain. A few umbrellas are popping up.
This is lifted out to the gap. Coming across, Anoka makes the catch right beside Matty Waugh. I don't know if you didn't hear Ben Anoka. That's the center fielder's ball, but Waugh basically in his hip pocket when he made the catch. So now through 4 complete. We go to the top of the 5th. Tied at 2. Peligro Sports, Jose. Forgot his last name. I had it, and it just disappeared. But we do want to thank Jose and Var Matiozian as well, Mr. Neds. The Peligro Cup was on the Canada Day U.S. July 1st long weekend. Hallman Twins were the winners of the Peligro Cup this year.
A few of the games played right in front of Yankee Stadium.
That looked like a tough outfield.
Yes.
Just leave that there. Top of the 5th, and Matthew Waugh leads off again. Led off the game with a double off the fence and left, and then caught looking on a changeup and a beauty in the 3rd.
With the light rain now, it's very important for the pitchers to make sure they have a proper grip on that ball.
Joy looked down the left field side, and I see Jeff Lyons out for a walk, trying to stretch out the groin or the thigh or whatever ailment he's got. He's just walking. He's not even sprinting. Just back and forth, pacing. And it might have been a right hamstring or quad. Chopper Nova can't track this one down, and Waugh is 2 for 3 today.
You might not be able to see from where you're positioning, Blair, but is that Ryan Boland on the trainer's table?
No, that's Kyle Ezekiel.
Kyle Ezekiel, yep. Got the beards mixed up.
Yeah. He's got that right ankle now heavily taped. Now he can still re-enter because they've substituted in that DP spot, but he was the starter, so he can still come back in. Remeke laces this one foul down the right side this time, and Var Matiozian actually got bent over and fielded that one with 2 hands.
Yes.
Not a boy, Varn. He's getting some props from the, or some grief at least from the bench right now about that. He's probably giving it back full steam too. downstairs. I don't think Farm's got his own uniform on. That says 27.
27.
He's supposed to be 25. So he'll be taking some grief for not having the right uni on. Maybe he forgot his whites at the hotel. Might not have been white enough either. Remeke sat on that change-up and kept the hands back, fouled down. In fact, he swung so hard he knocked his elbow pad right off. Put that gear back together. One ball, two strikes. The rain starts to fall just a little bit harder. I think it almost would qualify as a drizzle now, Joe.
Yes, I would think so.
And some more fans who forgot to bring the umbrella to the park are going to go for cover.
I have one in my bag. Do you think I could sell one?
I think you and I are going to need that later, so let's just keep that. Called strike three, outside corner. Remeke's going to point to off the plate, but looked fairly good here.
Absolutely fun week, I hope. Yeah. Next year I'm getting the good hotel rooms.
So Beninoka to the plate. Joy said earlier that Ben has had some success against Sean, but certainly not today, as now we're getting into even past drizzle. Steady rain?
Yes.
Is that the next step?
That would be the next rung on the ladder.
Called a strike in the outside corner, and those grip rags, Joe, become ever more important. As you said, you don't want to lose one and throw one down the pipe. And inside, called strike two. This is a Tuesday night league game for the St. John's guys. Cold and damp.
Yeah.
And follows this one off. Joe, we were in Kitchener in 2018, and Danny Mullins and the Three Cheers team during a rain delay says to me, he says, you know, Blair, I've never seen rain come straight down before. It always rains sideways at home.
They do have some different weather out there. Batters have to make sure they got full grip on those bats too.
And this one lifted out to right. Anoka flares it out there. Tyler Pauli will battle the elements and make a good throw back into Brandon Horn. Two down. Zenon Winters to the plate. Janet Bolins is even playing snow. I can see that in October. That league goes very deep into the fall. Being there in Labor Day weekend 2016, it was down to about 3 degrees Celsius by 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. That'd be about mid-30s Fahrenheit. Well hit, deep right field, way back, and gone! Zenon Winters, first pitch swinging, and clobbers that one out into the parking lot. Breaks the tie, a 2-run home run, and Joe Todd, no problems getting around the bases for Winters.
Took his time for a first few steps, but then he realized the ball was over the fence and took a little more of a prance to pick up those 2 runs. Got all of that.
And then some. Winters has been having himself a week here, Joe. Has hit the ball hard. That great catch the other night on one leg. And Wayne Laulu looks at a pitch just off the plate. Mason will snap that across the diamond for the final out, but Zenon Winters, a huge home run out into the parking lot in right field. Gremlins back out in front, this time by 2.
Does your game need work? Want to get better every game? Every at-bat? You need Lumberjack Sports, focusing on exceptional quality and providing players with reliable, long-lasting product. Lumberjack Sports brings you in-game equipment and off-field workout gear, designed and tested by top fastball player Nick Shales. Hard work, strength, and all-around commitment to getting the job done, and done right, is the motto for Lumberjack Sports. Learn from the best. Play like the best. Check out lumberjacksports.ca. Does your game need work?
Rain continues to fall. Andrew Kirkpatrick brings a big towel out with him. They might have a shortage at the hotel. Called a strike. Brandon Horn, bit of disbelief. He'll take a quick walk. Top of the shop for the Bear Creek Express. 5th inning. And this one misses inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Right back up the middle. Hard hit. Horn will turn the corner. And he is aboard for the 2nd time today. Quentin Bruce now to the plate. And Joe, this change in the Bear Creek Express order has paid dividends for Paul McCart. Top of the shop, doing a job today. Jordan Pomeroy down in the 8th spot was the big hero last night. Just that little shuffle, and it has led to some results.
Sometimes change is good.
Upstairs. Quentin Bruce, old school, no batting gloves. And sometimes that's not a bad thing in the rain. The gloves get wet and they don't dry out easily, and they can get slick. Got jammed there on that inside pitch. Hard shot off the glove of Kirkpatrick's got it scrambled to it. Tried to roll the ball along the ground.
Great attempt.
I mean, what presence of mind to go try that. He just tried to slap the ball in the general direction of Laulu, and they very nearly got Quentin Bruce. I thought that was at least a tie, if nothing else.
Great attempt there.
Oh.
There's no way he had time to transfer that.
No, not that was the only play he had, literally, but just to think of that in the moment. Outstanding, Andrew Kirkpatrick, and just to even get a glove on that. The ball was scorched by Quentin Bruce. So Ryan Boland to the plate. Base runner is again, and he fouls it off. That's the first time, Joe, I think that they haven't started him with that inside rise. So they changed the pattern a little bit.
Yeah. Nick Mullins working with Cheese right now. Just throwing a different look at Ryan Boland.
Drop ball again. Boland over the top.
Well, it's important Bear Creek reply quickly for those 2 runs put on the board.
Well, they've been able to do it each time the Gremlins put up a run. Bear Creek has answered right back. This is foul. Stays 0-2. Swing and a miss. There's the inside rise ball. Boland down on strikes and a slam of the bat into the ground.
Andrew with 6 strikeouts to this point.
Time call by Mason, and Mullins was headed out, but I think he got waved off by Kirkpatrick. Way upstairs, ball 1. Joe, if you put the bunt on there with Boland, nobody out, runners at first and second, your 3-hitter?
No. Not with the way Ryan Boland's been swinging the bat this week. Yes, you're looking at the situation, but Ryan's had a great week.
Yeah, he came in and hitting in the high 300s.
357.
Had a single already, I think.
Yep.
Mason half committed to that, and it's a strike. One ball, 2 strikes to Derek Mason, the veteran from Vancouver, British Columbia. Went down to foul that one back. So stays 1-2. And a little bleeder on the infield. They're going to go to 2 for 1. Back to first, not in time, as Derek Mason legs that out. That was just a slow roller out to Malar-Zook, Joe. Did a good job to get the force at second. Brandon Horn up to third in the play. So runners on the corners, and now 2 down. Jeff Lyons stays in the game. Kyle Ezekiel is in this spot, but he's He's just tentatively rocking on 2 feet in the dugout, Joe. It doesn't have a hat or a helmet on or anything. And he looks a little unsteady on that ankle in the dugout. So it's going to be up to Jeff Lyons. Swing and a miss there. And Joe, he's going to have to hit it on the outfield and hop to first base because he's injured too.
That was a great pitch there by Andrew, jamming him right on his hands.
This one downstairs. Mullins blocks it. Joe, we're almost at the point where we need the lights.
Yes.
When I look out to the east, it's clear, and the clouds are almost moving right to left. Can't pull the trigger. Lions down 1-2. 2 out. Horn at third. Mason at first. Five spot in the order for Bear Creek Express. Everybody up at the fence in their dugout. Swing and a miss, chases upstairs, and a fist pump and a little hop, skip, and jump from Kirkpatrick as they work out of that jam here in the bottom of the fifth.
Great to show a little emotion.
Coolbet. Comfortably thrilling.
For the best Bear Tent banter on the airwaves, listen to Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly. Here's some of the biggest stars chatting with two of Newfoundland's own, Jason Hill and Steve Mullally. It's unfiltered and uncensored. Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly, wherever you get your podcasts. Yes, bye.
Joe Todd, it's Justin Schofield on here for the top of the sixth inning. Schof, we've seen him a couple times in relief. What's he done here?
2 2/3 of an inning just this week, but did pick up a victory. 7 strikeouts and 2 walks.
He got the win over Grand Prairie as he came on in relief in that one, and Derek Mason hit the walk-off the bottom of the 7th inning. They stole one, quite honestly, from the Grand Prairie Pirates in that one.
Justin Schofield threw BBs in that game to finish off that game. It's the hardest I saw Justin in a couple of years.
Yeah, asking for the lights to be turned on. I don't know if we have anywhere to access that here. We'll go talk to the games controllers. Schofield spent a couple of weekends pitching for the Gremlins this year. First pitch swinging, Cole Evans off of Schofield to first, and Cole Evans cannot buy a break here this week. He looks skyward as he crossed the bag. He just cannot believe it. He has scalded the ball the last 2 times and cannot get on base.
Great eye-hand reflexes there by Justin Schofield, though, to pick up that line shot just coming into this game. Threw a strike over to first base, too.
And that's a big improvement in Scho's arsenal there, Joe, because in times past, that might have been shot put at first. It might have been 2 hopped. It might have been over the head of Walsh, but Schofield has worked really hard on that aspect to come and get those balls and to be able to throw overhand to first. Good on him. Called a strike on Avery. 0-2. Here, you got 1-1.
I have 1-1.
Okay. This one misses down and in. Two and 1, says Brendan Bloom.
No.
That would make sense. Outside now, 3 and 1. And a big exhale from Schofield. Joe, I don't know if the rain has slowed. I think it has a little bit because we've had some people come back to the stands around this diamond and fewer umbrellas. Maybe just back down to less than a sprinkle. What would that be on the scale as Avery works a walk?
Missed.
Missed. Yes, that's a good one. So walk to the 7 batter brings up Ladislav Malarczuk. Strikeout and a fly ball. Let's look for a bunt here from Malarczuk. Handles the bat well. I think Greg Leather would like another run.
Bear Creek have to shut the door. Only got 2 swings of the bat left.
Well, swinging there. Had the notion, Joe, to maybe slap. If you can get it past Mason and Schofield, Nova's pretty deep again. He's got to also cover for the stolen base. Swing and a miss there. Snap throw down, but not close. Schofield back to the board. And inside out, that's going to go foul down the left side. They'll need a new ball. That one is going to be soaking wet.
Lights are starting to come on.
Well, it's good that they can access them because sometimes in these municipal facilities, you can't even access them here. You got to call somebody at City Hall to flip a switch there and get them on.
Or someone in Pennsylvania.
Or somebody, yeah, at a power company somewhere. You're right. You're absolutely right.
And they don't work the weekends.
He did go around, says Brandon Bloom. So Schofield strikes out Malarczuk. That'll bring up Nick Mullins. Called a strike. No action in the Gremlins bullpen now. Bless you. You're welcome. Mullins chases off the plate for strike 2. Looks like this one's going to be Kirkpatrick's game, Joe.
Yes, he's done 98% of the pitching this week, and I imagine they'll be staying with him.
Well, get them through this one, if that occurs, and then maybe go with Villavazo against JB. One ball, two strikes. The schedule for the rest of the day, Joe, is TBD. Swing and a miss. Mullins. Can't do anything with that pitch from Schofield. They strand the walk to Avery at first. Go to the bottom of the sixth. The Express need two to tie.
Two Hall of Fame players. One, a three-time All-World player and twice the leading hitter at the ISC World Tournament. The other, a five-time All-World player who led the World Tournament in RBIs in 2008. Reese Casely and Travis Wilson, our teammates, our friends, our family. Congratulations, Reese and Travis, from all of us on the New York Gremlins on your induction into the ISC Hall of Fame.
Kirkpatrick is expected back out in the circle for the New York Gremlins. He'll face Colin Walsh, Tyler Pauli, and Jordan Pomeroy. 6, 7, 8 in the order. Express, if nothing else, Joe will want to turn the order over.
Yeah, they need to get some action out of this bottom part of the order. Colin Walsh does have just 1-for-1 on base with a walk, too. But Tyler Pauli, Jordan Pomeroy, and Nestor Nova, one of those have to rise to the occasion.
Well, somebody needs to get a base hit so they can at least get to the 9 guy here in the order. And if nothing else, start with Brandon Horn in the 7th. Walsh looks to get a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Villavazo is back up working now down the right-hand side off your panel or your screen. This one is fouled way out of play down the left side. Might have even stopped raining, Joe, for the moment. Downstairs. Fine mist?
Yes.
We'll go with that one on the scale.
I'm glad where we are is fine.
Walsh had a motion, and yes, says our first base umpire, Cody LaFay from Missouri. Walsh reluctant to leave home plate area. Another strikeout for Kirkpatrick. Tyler Pauli swings at the first pitch.
Eight strikeouts for Andrew.
And a strike on the outside corner. So very quickly, Pauli is in a hole 0-2. And Joe, I've seen him chase some pitches here this week that he doesn't normally do.
He's struggling.
Fights that one off. That was in on the fists. Good job to foul that off. Way upstairs. Mullins had to almost leave his feet to go get that one.
If anything, I think Andrews increased the speed of his pace.
Change up. Paul Lai way out on front and waves at it. Strike 3. Another strikeout for Andrew Kirkpatrick. Well, Joe, we saw this last night, too, as they got into the later innings. His pace did indeed increase. The Gremlins were close with Circle Top for a bit, but they got on to Devin McCullough. Swing? No. Boom. Welcome back, Luciano. Hoping we're going to put you to work for the next game. Upstairs to Jordan Pomeroy. And again, Joe, I think the importance for Pomeroy here to get on base, turn the order over so you're not starting with the 9 spot in the 7th.
Yes, I agree.
Downstairs. 3-0, Jordan Pomeroy.
Very tough. Pomeroy has to fight the elements. A little bit of a missed out there. Wet bat.
Upstairs, ball 4. That's a real good at bat by the youngster here from Newfoundland and Labrador. Took all the way. Would have been easy to chase any of those and get a strike or two, but they do indeed turn the batting order over. You don't really have anybody left on the bench. They could use Dave Pratt, I guess, but then you're running out of time from space for injuries here. You got Zach Berg and Pringle as well.
Yeah.
Swinging and foul back there from Nova. He ran into one the other night. You just never know.
Mm-hmm.
This one is fouled straight back out of play.
Bear Creek get Nova on, then you're potentially going back up the top of the order. Brandon Horn and Quentin Bruce both have 2 hits so far in the game.
Well, the rain has picked up again. We're into drizzle territory, and he does punch one out to right field. Going coast to coast is Pomeroy, and an 0-2 base hit and a fist pump out at first for Nestor Nova.
Rise to the occasion.
And the rain is beyond drizzle now, Joe, into downpour territory. I don't know how much further you go with this.
Well, you'll have to complete the inning. It's the home game, home team. Two out now.
Brandon Horn, right guy, right time. And Kirkpatrick down in a heap in the slippery diamond. And that, to me, Joe, is why I'm not sure we're keeping the play in here, because this field is taking a lot. Kirkpatrick, yes, I know he tends to fall on occasion, but there's already been a lot of water absorbed by this diamond, and we are well into downpour territory.
It's now coming even harder since you spoke.
And now we're going to take them off the diamond, and rightfully so. Well, folks, it doesn't look like this one's going to let up anytime soon. We're going to put the mics down. We'll keep the video feed on. And stay with us. We're in rain delay.